Hello, and welcome to this episode of the Romance Class podcast. Romance Class is a community of Filipino authors of romance in English. Since 2013, our community has helped over 80 authors publish over 100 books. We also have a podcast, which is what you're listening to or watching right now, and it has been a space to explore more of what we can do with the books and what we can discuss with the authors. This podcast is produced by Tanya Arpa and Mina V. Esguerra. Before we start, we would like to remind everyone to subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Head over to killing.pub/YouTube, hit the subscribe button, and also click on the bell to be notified when a new video is coming up. My name is Mina Viesguerra, my pronouns are she and her, and I'm hosting the episode today. Today's episode, we go back to talking about the tropes we use when writing romance, and we'll be discussing the friends to lovers trope. Friends to lovers is very, very common in Philippine romance media. Let me cite some of my own favorites. TGIS, Wax and Peachy, the Bea Alonzo and Ding Dong Dantes Star Cinema movie She's the One, now on Netflix. But there's a lot. And I have a feeling that most of us romance authors who are Filipino have at least one of these books in our personal catalog, if not as published books in our drafts and our earliest writing experiments. I just feel it. But we can talk about it now and explore what really is happening here. Why do we consider this a top tier trope? Joining us today to talk about this are authors Brigitte Bautista and Anna Tejano. Bridge, Anna?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. So, first of all, hello to everyone in the chat. Hello, Tara, Ayla. And yes, Tara has mentioned her favorite, Labs Kita Okay Ka Lang,
Yes.
which is Jolina and Marvin, right? Okay.
Yes.
Top tier trope. Definitely. So, we have a panel of authors here who have written the Friends to Lovers trope, and then we will ask them, why? What is the reason? So first, let's have them introduce themselves and maybe say a little something about the book they've written that fits this trope. How about let's start with Anna?
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Anna Tejano. So, my Friends to Lovers books, I have two. It's Fall Like Rain, my first book, and another one is You Could Be the One. It's a collection of three Friends to Lovers short stories. So, I really like the trope. So, Fall Like Rain, it's about two best friends who've always liked each other, but somehow they never got the timing to say what they feel to each other until now, when the story happened. And then there's lots of pining because we like that and overthinking. And then and You Could Be the One, it's a collection of three stories about three sets of friends who discovered that maybe the one is right in front of them all along. That's mine.
Thank you, Anna. And welcome to everyone else joining in the chat. I hope you share your favorite books and movie recommendations as well. Next up, let's have Bridge.
Hello, I'm Bridge. My pronouns are she and her. My friends to lovers na stories are of course my standalone novel Yumi US and also the short story in Start Here called Lemon Drop Friday. So, welcome everyone and looking forward to the discussion.
Thank you, Bridge. Oh, may batian ng Merry Christmas na
Yes.
and and
Merry
happy
Christmas.
birthday. Is KB here? Happy birthday,
Yes,
KB.
happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, KB!
Okay, so we have some questions, just a few, and then you can drop your questions here in the chat if you want to talk about their books or just writing the trope or, why we like Friends to Lovers so much. So let's start with our first question for this panel. So, what is the appeal of Friends to Lovers, and what book or movie or form of media or life moment did you encounter that made you want to write the trope? How about let's start with Anna?
Okay, life moment talaga, 'di ba? But no, yun yung kwento. No, siguro for me, I'm trying to remember exactly why before. But I think even before then, when I still considered myself just a reader, not an author. I've always liked stories about yung friendships developing into more than friends. Parang, yun, I like the pining. I like yung realization of, oh, mahal ko pala siya. Ganon. But I think when I wrote Fall Like Rain, I remember, I think 2012, super sikat yung Tales from the Friend Zone ni Ramon Bautista. Because I remember when I was planning that book, um, sabi ko, let's stick to that. Let's try this kasi sikat siya at that time. So parang let's talk about, usong-uso yung discussion about being in the friend zone, being that friend na never naman minahal, ganon. Sabi ko, let's play with that one. Because that's, that I feel like a lot of people would relate to it. And, sige, fine, dahil nakikita ko yung comment ng life moment, wala naman personally for me specifically, but I think I tend to be like that. I would rather be friends with someone first. Wow. Be friends with someone first. And then, the move on, develop from there. Parang ganon. Nahiya ako bigla. But yun, I think that's really that's the appeal for me. That's also why I started writing it. And ayun. So, ever since then, I think very attracted ako to all the other media that is, yun yung trope. And it's nice kasi you start seeing how would it be manipulated in a way. Like what would make this particular friends to lovers story different and all of that things. Yan.
Thank you, Anne. Parang parang maraming nagko-comment about the life moment part. I just want to reiterate that it's optional. You don't need to share anything from your life. Just, in case lang that it was the actual inspiration for a book, maybe, you would want to be able to talk about it. But yeah, hello to people who have joined the chat. Hello, everybody. How about you, Bridge?
For me, the appeal of friends to lovers is always yung middle part, yung pivot. It could be just one scene that parang kasi for me it starts out like steady lang siya na parang you see them as friends, flirting sometimes, and then it hits that pivot moment or that one scene or those series of scene, and then everything goes to to chaos na parang they oscillate between are we friends, are we lovers. So that's where to me the fun starts pag friends to lovers. And then also the O moment, like some stories dial it back to gusto nila na maging friends ulit, and then others like move past the friends phase but they kind of like oscillate on the other side, on the lovers zone of the friends to lovers scale. And also I like it when the friends to lovers stories bring the history of the friendship, take the time to flesh out the dynamic and their history, and also bring in certain nuances to their dialogue, to their communication. Because like when it's friends to lovers, some action, parang they don't need to say, the dialogue can be enriched by like non-verbal communication na parang ano yan, a friend would know what a certain shrug means, what if you say a certain word in a specific tone, like a friend would catch on to that versus like a stranger you're dating or someone you're trying to know. So that for me is the appeal of the friends to lovers trope.
So, you've brought up two things that reminded me why I like reading this. Kasi I think I forgot about it over time because I think after a while it's hard to write it when you have already, or I don't know, you're at a certain stage in your life. But I think Anna mentioned it's something that it's nice and comfortable, like you want that to be something that happens to you, and I think that's what readers also like when they pick up something like this, kasi parang it's a very parang kilig but in a safe environment, parang ganon na parang pre-approved safe person siya, I think. And then Bridge brought up yung that moment when things turn. So oo nga, I think yun din yung
Yeah.
enjoy dun sa part of that arc, because some people can be friends for a really long time and there's no arc like that, and then suddenly it turns, and that's the point where you start writing that story, or that's when
Yeah.
it starts becoming interesting kasi 'di ba, parang okay.
Yeah. It's chaos
Suddenly
na from
everything has
from
changed.
there, the
Oo.
scramble of finding
Oo.
where they'd land.
Oo,
Gusto
yung
ko yung
ginagawa ba niya
chaos.
may meaning ba 'to or what,
Fun. That's
ganyan.
the fun
Oo,
part.
and I think
Oo.
and now it reminds me of yung, I think that's what I like din and what I read. And also in TV shows, 'di ba, yung when you're following, like you're shipping a couple for years and then suddenly the story pivots to a romance, 'di ba? Kasi parang you actually know na there's a shared language. Yun, yung the familiarity, the shared language, yung just the references. And then, oo nga, like how do you write that and then establish all of that? It's nice. Oo nga. O sige, naalala ko na why. naalala ko na why I like this trope. Thank you so much. Ang hirap kasi. So, sige, leading to the next question. Um, okay. So, how do you write friends to lovers? What are the challenges of writing this trope? So you've actually written more than one story, diba? Uh, so you've actually gone through the process of writing a different couple as friends to lovers. So can you share, like, how do you do that? How do you make it different? Or should it be different? Yeah. How about you, Anna?
I think the difference will happen depending on what kind of friendship the characters have. So, nung nag-prepare ako for this, inisip ko, paano nga ba? So, what I started is, you start with the friendship. What kind of friendship do the characters have? How long have they been friends? Are they childhood friends? Friends from high school? Office buddy? Yung mga ganon. Like, when did they meet? What were all the other things that they have been doing together as friends? I think that's one thing. Yun, like what Bridge said earlier, yung history nila. How did they how did they meet? Ano yung mga inside jokes nila as friends? Ano yung shared experiences nila? Did they go on vacations? Did they nagro-road trip ba sila? Sila ba yung laging magkasama pag lunch? Yung mga ganun. I think that's a good place to start. And then after that is what are the other ano yung things that makes their relation or friendship different? Like, I think ito yung part of challenge. What are those hints that have been dropped before that would, parang when you do the reveal eventually, you'd realize, okay, mahal pala niya talaga to kasi ganito yung ginagawa niya before. Pero when you look at it initially, parang wala lang. Pero later, turns out, may meaning pala yung actions niya. Yung ganon. Obviously, nandun na rin tayo sa pining. Usually, one of the characters would be pining for the other person. Lalo na kung, yun nga, if they've been in love with the other person for so long, tas ayaw niya lang magsabi because, syempre, we don't want to ruin the friendship. And that's one of the things in friends to lovers na I can't tell this person kasi paano kung hindi niya rin ako gusto. Tapos suddenly, wala na yung friendship. So, parang you lose a bit more than, I guess, in other tropes. Kasi you have that person, yung safe, pre-approved safe person nga, what said earlier na, baka hindi na siya maging safe after kasi hindi na, masisira na yung friendship namin, ganyan. Yun. And then, ano pa ba? For example, what I said kanina dun sa what are those things that the one character is doing that looks like a friendly thing, but really not a friendly thing pala. In Fall Like Rain, I wrote this scene where si love interest, si Mark, goes to the office and then he waits for Rain to finish work. Tapos, di ba, it sounds normal kasi parang friend naman kita, sunduin kita. Pero hindi na pala friendly yung sunduan. Pero yun, pinunta niya sa office, sige, I'll wait for you here, ganyan. Tapos later, pinoint out sa kanya nung kasama niya na, hindi naman mahilig mag-work si Mark in coffee shops. Gusto niya dun sa parang home office niya. So bakit kanya ba't siya nandyan? Ba't siya mag-aantay for hours to say that he's working? So yung those things na suddenly, the other character would realize, ay wait lang, iba na pala siya. So, yun. And I think the other one is, yun, how can the character show up for the other one? That seems like it's friendly, but it's not. Ganun. And then, gusto ko yung sinabi ni Ayla kanina in the comment, yung O moment, favorite ko yun lagi when you get to that point na, okay, in love pala ako sa kanya. Or in love pala siya sa akin. Yung ganun. Ayun.
Thank you, Anna. Sorry. falling phone. So, yeah, okay. Actually, gusto ko yung na-bring up mo kasi I think that's the inherent parang conflict in the friends to lovers trope, right? Yung parang when you try to cross that thing and then do you ruin the friendship or not? And then it's not fun. And then I think yun din yung pining. So you've written pining. Pining can be difficult to parang right, or at least diba it's fun to parang meditate on. But I think ang nangyayari kawawa talaga yung ang mangyayari, one character is going to be bearing the brunt of the pining, and then that's difficult. So Bridge, what can you share about how you write friends to lovers and your challenges in writing this trope?
Sa akin talaga yun, yung parang pivot, yung O moment, yung isa sa mga sa mga important na elements niya. Because that moment, that scene should have enough force to rock the boat. Yung mga characters ko kasi so far na friends to lovers, mga malala mag-react eh. So parang alam mo yun, it should be able to be forceful enough to start the chaos between that oscillation between, do we want to be friends, do we want to be lovers, do we want to be something else, do we want to like not be friends anymore. So yung ganong so to me nailing that pivot, that old moment is super important. And also equally important is what happens before that. Like how do you sell or establish that they're friends? And yung sinabi ni Anna kanina, I agree, yung parang throwing hints na parang it looks like it's nothing, but it's not nothing. So that happens with the first part, how you establish it before that would parang set up the pivot or the O moment. So it would actually bring weight or more context dun sa pivot na yun sa gitna. And then another thing is aside from like fleshing out their history, I really like putting nuance to their conversations. Yung sabi ko kanina na parang there are things that only parang secret, merong between friends, like there's always this secret code, yung tinginan nila, they don't have to say anything. You know, the way she says fine, the way she says okay, nakakatch agad nung friend kung anong ibig sabihin, even if it's just one word. So I like inserting it into the story. I would say the challenge is there's the challenge is to for me is making sure that I don't go to the friend zone pain section of storytelling, wherein yung pain ng isa, like for example hindi pa siya gusto or hindi siya gusto ng friend na like the pain they're starting to blame the other person for the pain they're feeling. So I always try to catch that, even especially in the hairy situations or in arguments or in quarrels, in difficult conversations inside the book. Like, am I approaching that section that I shouldn't approach? So yung friend zone pain is something to watch out for me.
Thank you, Bridge. So, Can I just say, yung comments yung chat natin, ang daming sinishare ng mga tao. Parang, parang
May
marami
person, may
kayong,
life moment din sila.
Kayo ata yung may life moment eh.
oo, parang
No.
maraming tips. And I love that. And again, diba, that just reinforces how it's truly a top tier trope that every reader, I don't know if it's a Filipino thing or if it's a romance thing, but it seems to be a big thing for us, at least if we're writing as Filipino authors maybe, and reading for and writing for Filipino readers. Wala lang, ang dami yung thoughts. So just a few things that I saw that I would like to point out. But if of course you're listening to this, I hope you were able to go to the YouTube video and then look at the live chat, because there's a lot of discussion in the live chat. But just a few things I wanted to mention, yung the barkada. So somebody mentioned here just how an entire, this can be fun in a book because of an entire friend group can be involved and have their say and have their sides and have their yung magiging, pwedeng sila yung audience, pwedeng invested din sila, pwedeng sila yung hadlang. Yeah, ang daming pwedeng things going on. And then another thing that I wanted to mention is from Cyan No Scarlet, the ace demi in me relates to this so bad. So there is a I guess there is a speed to which friends to lovers often happens in books that is parang a nice relatable thing across the, different, not just cultures, but orientations. So yun, I mean, it's really worth exploring. And then yung isang i-bring up ko lang is, even if friends to lovers yung trope, pwedeng iba-iba naman yung dynamic nung pair. So yung na-mention ni Bridge na yung pairing niya, yung pairing niya may pagka-chaotic yung
Malala
friend.
lagi yung mga characters.
Malala. So pwede namang friends kayo pero malala kayo na friends. Like magulo yung friendship. Pwedeng friends to lovers, pero actually yun yung favorite ko, like yung like She's the One, which I mentioned. Favorite ko siya kasi friendship siya, pero parang grumpy sunshine, protector, somewhat adversarial. Yung I mean, it's not, parang it's not the kind of friendship that you have, I guess you can still portray it in a lot of different ways. So as Anna mentioned earlier, it's the different kinds of friendships. And pwede din namang hindi forever friends, diba? Pwedeng recent friends.
Pwede nga yung
Pwede rin,
enemies before, tapos suddenly naging friends sila. So technically, enemies to friends to lovers ka na. Pwede mo naman
friends pa rin.
Pwedeng,
friends pa rin at some point.
there's a range to this. I just forget it because wala lang. I'm sorry to this trope.
May gusto akong i-add dun sa sinabi ni Bridge about dun sa friend zone, so yung friend zone pain. So one of the things I realized then, I think a challenge in writing friends to lovers is how to make one of the, yung hindi entitled yung other character, usually the one pining for the emotions of the other. Yung parang, because pag ganun kasi siya, hindi na siya friendship for me, na entitled ako for him. Kasi ang tagal kitang kaibigan, tapos di mo ako mamahalin. Yung ganon, I think that's a line that we need to be careful when we're writing this. Kasi you have to make sure na parang, obviously, healthy yung relationship nila. Na at the end of it is what the other wants is ano ba yung happiness of the other person. Even if it means na even if it means baka dapat wala ako sa life nitong person na to. Pero dahil happily ever after time, magkakatuluyan pa rin sila. You just need to get to that realization na if the other person does not choose me, then I should be okay with whatever that other person chose. Hindi yun dapat piliin mo ako kasi kaibigan mo ako. Ganun. That's one thing that kailangan din i-avoid, I think. Very mindful when writing this trope.
But it's interesting. So that's one of the, like, again, it's one of the inherent challenges and conflicts, I guess, no, na parang the other person doesn't know what the other will choose. And then, but they have to be okay with it, 'di ba? Otherwise, hindi sila tunay na friends. So I think yun, no, that's like one thing that an author writing this needs to establish, that there's real friendship underneath the romance plot, na you can trust this person, they really want what's best for you, but at the same time, parang, please, can I be the one who's
Can I be
best
the
for
best?
you?
Yeah.
Pwede, pwedeng ako, oo. And now
True.
people are saying that it's relatable because everyone has
Mm.
felt that way, 'di ba? I think it's nice. I congratulate everyone
Mm.
who has had a friend who is crushable in this way. Because
Sorry, Angeli.
I'm sorry if it hasn't worked out. I hope that romance novels are able to parang either give us that fantasy or that escape or that encouragement to maybe maybe we can lean toward encouragement. Now we can
Mm-mm.
identify how, like, maybe we can show what kind of a friend
Mhm.
becomes a great
Mhm.
partner
Mhm.
in a relationship. Wala lang,
Mhm.
baka lang
Yeah.
naman.
Or may magkalakas ng loob to say the feelings, yung mga gano'n.
Wow.
Kasi 'di ba,
One
hmm,
more. I say go ahead.
like hindi, sige. I mean, ang sa'kin kasi 'di ba,
Mm.
you can cut the friends to lovers story very short kung isa sa kanila aamin agad, 'di ba?
Mm.
Tapos na
Yeah.
yung kwento kasi umamin siya early in the story. Pero yun. So go Bridge.
Yeah. One more thing about the friend zone pain is like, I guess, is striking the balance between allowing the character to process their feelings. Na syempre, if someone rejects you, if the person that you like doesn't like you back, it hurts. But also, that's like allowing that character to process that hurt, but also ensuring that it doesn't snowball into something where the hurt they feel is attributed or put or is attributed towards the person who didn't return their feelings, parang ganon. So yun yung extreme end nga nung friend zone pain, where you start blaming the other person for the pain that you're feeling. So yun. So that just that balance there.
Oo nga, no? And that's another thing that the books can explore. Kasi, but we're writing romance kasi, so we know that eventually,
Yeah.
even if the reveal of earlier on, it wasn't right, diba? It wasn't, the feelings weren't
Mm-hmm.
returned. What if eventually it does? And then, eventually it does. Parang how do we do that? How do we write that? So, oo nga. Oo nga. Mahirap pa rin siya. I mean, again, it's not, even though we can all relate to it and we all seem to have a story, it's still a writing issue. There still are challenges to it, and there still
Yeah.
are things that we need to be careful about. I don't know, suddenly now that we're discussing it, maybe we do kasi have a lot of media where we see that, oh, may pagka-toxic yung reaction nung friend nung nagkaaminan, 'di ba? Baka we actually do have a lot of examples of how it kind of isn't done right, or maybe nga it's happened to us that baka yun yung real life story natin, na we didn't return the feelings and now we lost a friend, parang ganon. So basta we have a lot to draw on. We have a lot to draw on this particular topic. So before I encourage people in the chat to drop questions, and then we'll get to them after this item. So our next question, well, not really a question, but do you have any recommendations for friends to lovers? Ano tong grabe? Wait. What did I say? Hindi ko alam kung ano yung sinabi ko. But anyway, is it yung is it us having a lot of material to draw from? Ganon. Totoo naman. Uh, okay, so do you have, Anna and Bridge, do you have any friends to lovers recommendations in terms of like what we can watch or what we can read or whatever? what we can listen to, etc. And tips for any writers who are writing their friends to lovers story right now. Anna, can we start with you?
Tinitingnan ko yung nag-list talaga ako, 'di ba? Pero
Oo.
ano, I actually want to hindi siya friends to lovers eh. Pero I want to highlight yung Songs to Get Over You by J.A. Tria. Kasi yung story ni Mickey doon, that's exactly yung friend zone pain that Bridges that has mentioned. So I remember reviewing the book, sabi ko, ay, mahal ko si Mickey, pero gets ko kung bakit hindi siya yung pinili. So, masaya naman ako na may next book na finally he got his happily ever after. But I think if we're exploring the trope, that book is actually a very good example of not exactly not what to write, but what could go on if hindi siya gumalaw. Hindi siya nag-take ng initiative. So the other friends to lovers recommendation I have from romance class is actually Waiting in the Wings by Tara Frejas. As in, love na love ko yung dynamic ni Erin and Ramon kasi they've been friends for so long. Tapos yun nga, apparent yung reality, tas yung nagpasok pa siya ng syempre yung love triangle nila doon with Pio, parang yes. Parang it made them realize both na they are yun nga, na parang suddenly, si Erin na-realize niya, wait lang, mahal ko pala yung kaibigan ko, ganun. Tapos parang yung payoff was very good. Tapos yung grand gesture is still one of my favorites until now. So, ayun. Bridge, ikaw naman.
Shit, ano ba? Waiting in the Wings din yung rec ko. Yun, Waiting in the Wings is still like, hi Tara. Waiting in the Wings is still like the gold standard for me on a love triangle. And as far as the friends to lovers is concerned, Ramon is the type of character I especially appreciated that yung galawan yung galawan ni Ramon doon is that he decided to take it a step further. He decided to be brave and tell Erin how he felt without forcing his affections towards Erin. And of course, that gesture there is really sweet. So ayun, I recommend Waiting in the Wings. And kung ano naman, if you want yung mga ride or die BFFs natin, yung parang if the friend is like that steady, ano yung sabi mo kanina, Mina? Pre-approved safe person. Tama ba?
Yes.
that kind of friend, ride or die. I would say if the dress fits is something like that. And also this FF movie called I Hate New Year's. So parang yung dynamic ng friendship naman doon is someone who's been there all this time, or someone who's seen through all your ups and downs, someone you call in the middle of the night when you're feeling sad, when there's an emergency, or just because. So yung friend na yun na we know na you go through that story waiting for it to be something more. So those are my recs if that's kind of your jam. And then one of my favorite friends to lovers ships would have to be from Glee. Glee is like we all know Glee is a landmine of problematic plot points, but generally they did Britney and Santana good generally, and especially in the season 2 arc of that show, wherein they started to shift the story in this with Santana struggling about accepting that she's gay and also accepting that she's gay for her best friend.
Okay.
So just the conflict in that, just in season 2, at least in the season 2 arc, is one of my favorite stories, friends to lovers stories.
Thank you for your recommendations. Actually, now that you've brought up Songs to Get Over You and Waiting in the Wings, so Songs to Get Over You by by J.E. Tria, and then Waiting in the Wings by Tara Frejas. It's interesting, no? Parang two sides siya of the same. It's like the trope in two different directions. Do you end up choosing the actor or not? and then,
Oo nga. Oo
and
nga.
then in one in one book, in one pairing someone chooses the actor, in one pairing someone doesn't. But just how you can portray like a rich friendship in a way that uh like romance can happen either way. Yon, I guess, is what I realized. 'Di ba? Oo nga, yan, biglang may oh moment kayo. Yeah, right. So it's really how you set it up, and then as Anna mentioned, it is it's something you can still, even if the pining person did not get their romance in that particular time, you can write a book for them and have them discover how they can like somebody and have their own romance. So yun. Yeah. So a recommendation I'm adding to that would be, may listahan din ako, wait. So, marami kasi pala tayo. Yun, na-realize ko lang that if you explore friends to lovers in romance class, you'll find a lot. So, like 5 stars, the latest book by
Yes.
Dawn.
By Dawn.
Dawn writing as Dawn Ranfast. 5 stars. So that's a short book that's very the friends to lovers of my high school dreams. Please check it out. Dahil na-imagine ko na yun yung kwentong yun for myself. And then, Only a Kiss by Ines Bautista Yao. That's a friendship that is from childhood naman, something you can explore. And Truth or Dare by Brianna Ocampo, which is also a short book, very high heat, also friends to lovers. So you can really, may libro ko pala. Oh. Tara in the comments mentioned my imaginary ex. Yeah, so that's by me. And yes, the first book I ever wrote and published was a friends to lovers, essentially. I am part of this. I am part of the friends to lovers trope crew. So, and in the comments from Kat, Chrissy Peria's Kitchen When It Sizzles. That's right. So they meet in Kitchen When It Sizzles. He's her like cooking instructor. So it does start as a friendship. You're right. Yeah. So there's a lot of ways that you can take that trope and and portray friends to lovers. Oh, yun. Thank you so. Wow, talagang.
Nalimutan ko yung Truth or Dare, the newborn baby.
Yun, medyo high heat na. Hindi lang pala medyo. So, high heat na friends to lovers. Kasi pwede rin pala yun. So, it's, friends to lovers is not necessarily slow burn, nor is it necessarily high heat either. You can really take it in all sorts of directions. So, are there any questions pala in the chat? I'm sorry if I missed anything. There were a lot of comments. Thank you so
lagnat
much.
agad yung baby eh. Anong magagawa mo?
Oo nga.
Thank you so much for the comment. Sorry. Did we miss any
May
questions?
recommendation akong isa. Naalala ko
Yes.
lang. Yung Midnight at the Magnolia in Netflix. Na nirecommend ako.
Right.
Diba?
I watched that. Oh.
Yes,
Yes,
yung
that was really
yung
nice.
moment nila doon was very nice. Lalo na doon sa guy kasi parang wait. Tapos parang in public pa yung grand gesture nila. But that was very parang ang ganda ng entire arc nila as friends. Na ang ganda ng history nila together as friends. And then nung na-realize na nung guy na matagal na pala niyang mahal yung best friend niya. Parang nagpalakpakan ako. Pumapalakpak ako sa bahay.
And hindi ba yun yung parang like the cool thing about that is like yung families are involved. Like
close
it seems like
families nila.
it's like there's an entire community of people like waiting for
yes,
these
yung
two.
radio talk show hosts sila. Tapos
Yes,
parang they
okay.
pretended to be together ba, I think, or something. Parang part of the story
Sige,
yun.
mag-rewatch tayo.
Oo. But yeah,
Mag-rewatch.
sobrang friends to lovers nun, as in.
Oo, oo. Yes. That yes, people have watched that movie. Oo. I was surprised by that also kasi parang wala namang hype. It just dropped on Netflix. And then we all watched it. And it was comforting. So I guess that's another thing na yung when we consume friends to lovers type content. Uh there is a level of like comfort. So there's pining. Yun yung elements, no? Pining, comfort, the familiarity, the parang the supportive community and friend group. Masaya lang. Oo. Yeah, and you can combine tropes here. So I saw a question. Wait. I saw a question from Ayla. What do you enjoy better? One party realizes the feelings first, or both of them are pining at the same time? Anna, what's your answer?
Yung both. Mas masaya yung both of
Oh.
them.
Oh.
Tapos yung parang ano lang, lalo na kung may friend group sila, tapos parang everyone can see it, but sila lang yung hindi. Tapos they're saying na hindi, wala lang to. Pero totoo meron pala. Yun. Mas
Meron
enjoy ako
pala.
dun. Oo.
How about you, Bridge? Mutual
I've
fun.
done both. Like, Lemon Drop Friday was like low-key pining.
Tug-tug.
And Yumi US was like, you know. Um, ano ba mas gusto ko? Sira ulo kasi yung mga characters ko.
Chaos nga,
But,
chaos.
but the more chaotic one, I guess, was yung one realizes that they have feelings. Kasi like, just having to re-examine the dynamic, having to like, so what happens, having to answer the question, so what happens now, that's the scramble to answer that question, I think, is fun to watch and fun to read. Yeah.
Ako rin, I like a mutual pining, but in one POV only. Gusto ko yun. Yun yung,
Gusto ko pag dalawa na sila.
oo. Yun yung, kasi parang feeling ko in terms of pacing, pag mutual, parang hirap, 'di ba? Ang hirap nung i-sustain yung suspense or like what exactly should be happening. Bakit hindi pa, 'di ba? Parang ang sarap nilang pag-umpugin pag ano, pag kapag masyadong obvious or pag masyadong similar na they're in the same pining mindset. So if that's my tip siguro, if you're doing mutual pining, you do it in one POV only and then hint and hint. Oo,
All the
para
hints.
doon mo para when the reveal happens, it's nice. It's a nice parang it was mutual pala. Parang ganun. But of course, yan yung trick. And it's not like you're spoiling anybody. That's what we want, di ba? That's what you want anyway. Hindi yung parang spoiler, they liked you all along. No, I mean,
Yung nagigigil ka na.
oh,
Yung,
okay na.
alam mo yung meme na ano, yung now kiss?
No
Yung
kiss.
Oo, parang, grr, ilang words pa to. Parang gano'n.
Yeah.
Tama
Yeah.
yan. Ganyan. Yun, I like mutual. I actually have a hard time with writing and reading yung a single person pining if there's not that parang bawi at the end. It's not that it's almost like I wait for it. So, but that's me. And I think it's going to be like a nice feeling that you leave your reader if you assure them that actually like diba, it's been they've returned the feelings for a while. Parang ganun. Mas comforting siya and nice. So I saw another question from Chris. Falling in love can also owe a lot to timing. When you're writing characters with a longer or more established friendship, do you ever struggle that it's too late for your characters to fall in love? Do you, is there like too long a time na yung friendship, the length of the friendship as friends lang talaga? Is there like too long a time na in a book? In a book. Wag nga,
Inabok
hindi
ba o
real
in
eh.
real life?
Ano,
Life moment ba?
Hindi, nilinaw na in a book. Oo.
ano ba?
Sa akin, I don't struggle with it because parang y- you already know that you're gonna end up together in the end. Siguro it's just if there's a struggle, if any, it's getting them there.
Mhm.
And the longer if the friendship is more established, then there's parang there is a lot that you can do to like break it. So yun yung iiwasan mo from like this point to the end game here. So iiwasan mo siya, you skirt around, you maneuver the plot until you reach the happy ending. So I guess with that setup, that's the challenge and that's the struggle.
Mhm. Anna, do you
Oh.
have like
Inisip ko yung how I wrote
something
si
about
Fall
that?
Like
Yeah.
Rain. Kasi I think that's also one of the things nun. Although young, I mean, ka-age natin sila nung sinulat ko siya. Yung thought lang na, yun nga, na parang too late. Yun nga. I did think about that, if it's too late. Parang, tagal na nating friends, parang might be better off if it's like this. Pero feeling ko hindi rin eh. Parang it would matter. I think it depends lang how. Obviously, ano ba yung life state ng characters, di ba? Obviously, they
I think
have to be available for each other. Di
Yeah,
ba?
I think that can be the trick in terms of in writing, ha? Like again, in writing,
In writing.
we're not. I think
Disclaimer.
disclaimer. I think that can be the trick. Parang kasi they can be friends for a long time, but their situation changes naman. Like
Yeah.
pwedeng may gap kasi there was distance or a change in setting or location for both, and then the reunion is a totally new parang circumstance for them both. Oo, nagdi-disclaimer ako kasi fiction yung pinag-uusapan natin. Yun. Yeah, but I think yeah, that's the trick. I mean, in terms of writing, you can. I think it's not too late. You can write a story between two people who have been a romance between two people who have known each other for a long time or have been friends for a very long time, and then just it's really about the circumstances. You can change up the circumstances, and then because I think that's what happened with like Anna's stories and Bridget's stories. Like I actually recall the moment when the circumstances changed, and then suddenly, wait, pwede na, parang ganon, or wait, uh this is actually a good time. Oo, hindi ito life coaching. um, um, but yeah, that's I think in terms of writing the romance, and they could have known each other for a long time and had been friends, and actually could have had that moment where they tried it and it didn't work, and then try it again. I think we can allow for that. Oo
Yeah.
naman. So yeah, so we want to keep this this stream to a not very long running time. Thank you so much for the questions, for the recommendations. I definitely recommend that if you're listening to this as a podcast, check out the chat for the recommendations and the stories on YouTube. Please like the stream. If you're here, please like the stream, and subscribe also to our channel. So I knew we were going to have fun with this with this trope. Thank you so much. Um, I want to remind everybody that we have Anna and Bridge on, and please catch our Feels Fest 2021 stream next week on Twitch, because there's gonna be something new from both Anna and Bridge.
Accountability, let's
Talaga,
go.
oo nga pala. Biglang
Oo.
naalala eh, no? Ay, oo nga pala.
Oo nga pala.
Oh,
Friends to lovers din yung
oo.
yung para doon.
Yes, friends to lovers din ba? Oo.
Oo.
I'm very excited. So thank you so much, Anna and Bridge, for dropping by the podcast and for sharing and for giving everyone advice on how to write this trope. And that's it. Thank you and see you online. Please like this stream and see ya. We have read along later.
Yeah.
Please please stay on YouTube for that. Thanks
Alright,
everyone.
bye.
Bye.
Take care.